Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza Horizon 2 with another rally car build. My vehicle today is the Aston Martin V12 Vantage S. Thought I'd go for something a little bit different for this one, as this, well, it starts off as S1 class. It's going to be very, very close on PI by the time I have finished with all of the mandatory parts. But I'm kind of curious to see how the Aston Martin would do, and let's face it, we all like Aston Martins. I do like the V12 Vantage. I think it's a fantastic looking car, this one, and I'm hoping it might make a half-decent rally car. Now, the rules of the series, all the cars must be made four-wheel drive, which I'm going to put on now. Fortunately, it doesn't add as much PI as I was fearing it might, but the Aston Martin is heavy to begin with, certainly. We have to have the off-road tyres. Again, that's adding some PI on, but we do have now a little bit of room because the other parts, the off-road gearbox, won't change the PI massively, and the off-road suspension also won't give us a huge change. I'm hoping it's going to be one of the lower cars that we've had, sort of ride height-wise, go around the course. I'm hoping it should be okay. It's not as bad as the F40, so yeah, it should, fingers crossed, all work. Brakes can't be upgraded, being the sort of the Vantage S, if you like. We can't really do much with them. I will be going for the much handling parts as I can get on the car, basically. Roll cage, I don't think we're going to need it. Not going to worry about a roll cage on this car. Now, can we go? We can't go full weight reduction, as we don't stay in S1 class. We can get the second stage of weight reduction. I'm just going to go through other parts that I definitely want before deciding what weight reduction stage to go for. We are going to want aero parts. It's all going to be about trying to get this car to handle, I suspect, because it is, I mean, the power, sure, there's plenty of power from this car, but it's going to be a lot heavier than some of the other vehicles that have gone. Tyre widths, we can get up to, ooh, pretty decent tyres, 355s on the rear, bigger than the muscle cars. That's some that's some hefty tyres. That's a big increase, well, relatively big increase from the standards. I mean, it starts off with big tyres, but yeah, okay, that doesn't change the PI at all. I'll definitely have them. Front tyres will change the PI, I'm going to assume. Indeed they do. 275s on the front. It's okay. I'd like bigger tyres, especially considering the difference in size from front to rear, but I will take it. Now, the question of the weight reduction. That is a little bit of PI. I think we can still get the second stage on. Indeed we can. It's still too high. We did drop the couple of PI with the wing, so we've got to go with the sport weight reduction. It's still £3,500 though. Okay, it's got the power, 565 horsepower is decent, and the torque is not too bad for these cars, but it is very, very heavy. It's about £1,000 over quite a few of the cars that have gone. We're sort of talking £700 more than some of the top cars, so it may struggle ever so slightly. Now, we can try and get some weight out with the likes of the exhaust here. We may see if this can drop. It can drop some weight. It's not a huge amount, but it does still give me PI to work with, which is always what we want, because we're going to try and get driveline in. It's only £11, as it's already got essentially a sport driveline in it. We will take the differential if the game's going to let me buy it, and clutch is not actually changing anything. PI wise, takes out £3. Maybe we can get a flywheel on the car, potentially. We can indeed take out another £6. That will have to do for the Aston Martin. As I said, I was kind of curious to see, I'm very curious to see how this car will do, as it is a rather heavy vehicle. We do have half decent power though, and not too bad at all. And this has got less power than the Toyota Celica and weighs £800 more than it. I'm hoping then that we will have some grip. Fingers crossed. We have got massive rear tyres, so the Aston Martin, it could go pretty well. But there is only one way to find out, and that is, of course, to take the car around the Forest Broad circuit, where I will have 5 laps to go as quickly as possible. Our current leader is the R34 Skyline with a 57.6, and I don't think we're going to be challenging the Skyline. In all honesty, I'm not really sure where we're going to be seeing this. I've not really had a car like this go around before. Perhaps under the 1 minute mark, we're looking at sort of Lotus Carlton. That's perhaps sort of similar kind of power and weight, but the Carlton was a much older car than this very, very modern, sporty Aston Martin. So, yeah, I have absolutely no clue quite what to expect from this. We could see it go very, very quickly. Certainly, the back end is well behaved. I like the balance of the Aston. In fact, I love the balance of the Aston. There is a tiny little bit of understeer, but it's a really, really nicely sorted car. Very much my sort of vehicle here. Flat out through there. Ooh, carried a lot of speed. Carried a massive amount of speed through there, almost too much speed as we got thrown across the sort of the secondary jump there. How do we fare? We should be quick through the second to last corner. Oh, we've got a twitch on mid-turn. May have actually slowed down a little bit too much on the way in. It was still pretty decent through there, 106 on a first attempt, and with a bit of a... I think there's a sort of a little bit of a bump. If you get the turn in slightly wrong, you can get in trouble across. Straight line speed, I think we will struggle with. I'll be honest, I thought that about the Volvo, but I do think we will struggle perhaps with the Aston Martin, but I was wrong. I was very wrong with the Aston. It's 139. Yes, it's a heavy car without quite the same power to weight ratio as some vehicles, but it still does very, very well down that sort of start-finish straight. We've got to slow it down. This turn here, we can't quite carry the speed. You can feel the weight through there, perhaps. Okay, get the car landed neatly, boot it through here, 103 miles an hour. This Aston is bloody fast. This is really going very, very quickly out here. The question is, how fast can we take the second to last corner? Holy crap, it is good through there. The Aston is fantastic through that second to last turn. We do get some understeer through the final corner. I don't think we're quite going to get the drive out here. It's that initial acceleration out of the final turn that I think the Aston does lose a little bit of time with. Down there, you can just kind of feel it's a 58.4 on the first flying lap for the Vantage. Oh no, I braked a tad too early. I'm actually surprised. It does very, very well on the brakes. You know, you expect the bigger, heavier cars not to get stopped as well. This does really slow down quickly. Right, let's take a slightly interesting line through turn 4 there. It flies lovely as well. The Vantage is flowing very, very nicely through this course. Take the jump, try and keep the landing neat. But be careful if you end up taking too much speed across that jump. That's when you get in a world of trouble. May have turned in a fraction too soon. There's so much speed can be taken through that corner. It's incredible. I'm really impressed with the Vantage. I thought with the lack of PI, the lack of upgrades that I was going to be able to get on this car, that we might struggle. I thought it was going to be decent, but I thought we were going to have... I don't think we were going to be quite going this quickly. It could potentially challenge the Volvo for second place if we can get some more speed out of this car, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to find it from. It's a very consistent car as well. I'm really surprised. I'm not sure, you know, the Aston, the V12 Vantage, yes, is going to be a decent car, but I didn't quite expect it to be this good at rallying. Ballsed it up. Turned in a little, I didn't quite carry as much speed over the jump as I was expecting, and then turned in a little bit too soon. That's my bad on that. On that particular one, yeah, we are mega fast. I'm only having to have a lift through there. That's how much grip there is from this car. We're out wide around towards the final turn as well. Yeah, as we've seen with a few of these slightly larger cars, it's not a fan of that final turn. Final turn's actually a little bit awkward on this course. It gets rounded okay. We don't have the massive wheel spin that we get from some vehicles. It just feels slightly sluggish coming out the other side. Right, its straight line speed is impressive as well, 139 down to turn 1, only a fraction behind the Ferrari 500 and so on. Okay, let's see if we can get. It's turn 4 where we aren't quite as quick as we've seen the likes of the RS200 and so on get around here. We can't quite carry the speed through there. That's where it feels slightly more unhappy than some of the other vehicles, but it's monstrously quick through turn 5. Then take that jump, but it lands so nicely. It really is a very, very nice car to drive this. A lift into the second to last corner. We're out a little bit wide towards the wall. Get on the brakes. We get a bit of understeer on this particular run. I may have pushed it I pushed it so fast through that second to last corner and ended up out a little bit wide. I got myself in a small bit of trouble. I'm not sure if we're going any quicker. It's been, apart from one mistake, it's been a very, very consistent. It's not quicker, sadly, for the Vantage. Very, very consistent car. This one. Remarkably easy to drive. Perhaps one of the easiest of the rally car builds I have had to drive around this circuit. A 58.429 puts it into third place. It fractionally beats the RS200. Yeah, I wasn't expecting third place from the Vantage. I thought it was going to be too heavy, really, for this particular thing. However, it is such a consistent car, such a nice, easy car to push around the lab. Yeah, I like it. I like the Vantage. We have, we're pushing the Nissans further and further apart. They did have a podium domination going on. Now the 300ZX is down into 5th. Yeah, Aston Martin, surprisingly, a really rather sensible rally car. That is a strange thing to be saying. Anyway, though, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.